Chapter 10. The End of Seeking. Since the beginning of time, humanity has felt this quiet ache, a longing not just to understand the self, but to dissolve the illusion of separation from all that is. And underneath our search for identity lies this deeper yearning, the return to the stillness from which we came, to the formless essence from where the self and the universe are one. The void we feel is not emptiness, but it is a call to remember what we truly are. Yet in our deepest sense, this longing is not a quest for anything new, but it is a return to what has always been. It is a journey towards truth, but a recognition that truth is already here, and it's untouched by any thought, any belief, or any perception. From the moment life begins in the womb, an intelligence beyond comprehension orchestrates the unfolding of form. The cells divide, the heart beats, the bodies grow, all without instruction, all without effort. This animating presence, this life force, it is not separate from us. It is us. It is not something we connect to. It is what we are before we had the idea of we. As identities form and stories are written, we seem to lose touch with this essence. We become entangled in the illusion of separation, believing ourselves to be isolated minds navigating a chaotic world. But even in the depths of confusion, this life force remains in its silence, in its stillness, and its ever-presentness. For many, suffering becomes the doorway. The weight of longing, the ache of disconnection, it cracks the illusion. And in that crack, light enters, not as something gained, but as something to be remembered. The path of awareness is not a path of all, but an unraveling of the idea that there was ever a traveler. To walk this road is to walk alone, yet never truly alone. It is to shed a layer after layer of illusion, not to become something new, but to see that there was never anything to become. The false self, constructed from thought, emotion, and mind conditioning, must be fully seen to be seen through. And once it is seen through, it dissolves like a mist in the morning sun. Meditation, mindfulness, silence, these are not mere tools to uncover some hidden truth, but gentle invitations to what has always been true. They are not to lead us somewhere new. Rather, they dissolve the illusion of what we were never separate from the present. The present moment is not a means to an end, not a stepping stone to enlightenment or clarity. It is the destination itself. It is the still point in which all movement turns, the quiet center of being where nothing is lacking. In the spaciousness of presence, the mind begins to soften. Its habitual grasping, judging, and narrating lose their urgency. Thoughts may still arise, but they no longer dominate. The silence beneath them becomes more audible, more trustworthy, and in that silence, the illusion of separation, the sense of being a distinct self apart from the world, begins to fade like that mist in the morning. What remains is not a self connected to life, but life itself, unbound and indivisible. There is no observer and no observed, only a streamless flow of awareness. The boundaries between the inner and the outer dissolve, and what once felt like a me becomes a vast, open field of being. In this field, there is no need to strive, no need to become, only the grace of being, fully and freely. Emotional blockages, traumas, patterns, they arise and fall within this space of awareness. They are not obstacles to be conquered, but waves to be witnessed. And as they are seen and felt, they release. And through their release, that river of life flows unobstructed, not towards something, but it as itself. Surrender is not a choice made by a separate self. It is a natural falling away of resistance when the illusion of control is seen through. Life flows, and we are that flow. The boulders in the river were never really real. They were only thoughts believed, emotions clung to, and identities assumed. In the clarity of being, love is not something to be felt. It is what we are. Not personal love, not conditional love, but the boundless, formless love that animates all things. To feel this love is to dissolve into it. There is no me and it. It is only love, only presence, only this. The realization of oneness is not a concept to be understood. It is a truth to be lived. The separate self was never more than a dream. Awakening from that dream, life becomes very simple, not because simplicity is chosen, but because complexity was imagined. In simplicity, the heart opens. A smile, a touch, the earth beneath our feet. These are not experiences of the self, but the expressions of the whole. The truth is not found in grand revelations, but the ordinary quiet in the now. To live this truth is not to seek, but to stop seeking. The end of the spiritual journey is the end of the seeker, but what remains is life, lived fully, lovingly, and without resistance. Service arises naturally, not from obligation, but from the overflowing of being. Humanity is not separate from the divine. We are not waking to something new. We are remembering what has always been. The dream of separation fades, and with it, fear dissolves. Freedom is not something obtained, but it is an absence of the bondage we once felt by the roles and identities that we assumed. So if you're finding yourself on this journey, listening to this book, know that there is nowhere to go. There is only this moment, this breath, this being. And enjoy the ride, not as a traveler, but the ride itself. You are already home. In chapter 10, in the book, The True Self, The Healing Journey Inward by Krista Ruffoni. Namaste.